So mine would be almost as deep as yours is deep, and then 9 inches narrower.
At the center or the sides? Because it is curved. Mine is straight. Okay,
if it was 31 and a half at its narrowest, it would get insanely deep.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
So that's only 8 inches, 7 inches narrower.
And it does wobble a little bit. I noticed. I like proper tried to wobble it. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I'm just deciding we're going to cold open on desks. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, we're in it now.
Yeah. Well, what we're actually talking about today is freaking Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Then the maps. Blops. Or
Zombies,
affectionately referred to as Blops.
Blops. The Blops franchise, but 3 specifically.
Exactly. And we're going to
specifically are zombies. Blops 3.
Any other specifically we got to get out of the way?
I don't think so.
And specifically, we're talking about the maps in Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. Maps is what we're talking about. 3 specifically.
Because it's objectively it's up to this point. I really do like that word. Because up to this point, it's just the best zombies Call of Duty. Not even just Blops, but all of them. Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, World War II. What else has been there? Vanguard, World at War. What other zombies Call of Duties have there been? I think that's it. MW3.
You know more about this than I do.
I think that's all the CODs that aren't Blopses that have had zombies. Regardless, of all of the Call of Duty franchise, Blops 3 is the best zombies by far.
That is accurate. And
it's also the only one that me and Fish can both confidently speak on most of the maps in a tier list. So that's why we're doing it.
Well, so you and
I can confidently speak on all of them, but
you and I challenged ourselves, or more accurately, you challenged me to challenge each other to go through the Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies Easter eggs. And we did we're not done, but we've gone through a lot of them. We went through 1, 2, and 3. Right. And I mean, yeah, like you said, 3 is the best one. And I think, especially considering all the remasters it has in it, it's kind of the most complete. If you had to pick one game, probably be this one.
Oh man, yeah, it's such a complete package. It's got simple maps because it remastered maps from World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2. So if you just want casual play, where Pack-a-Punch is just a couple of steps away, have at it. There's also some of the most complicated maps in Zombies history, like Revelations and what else? Probably
Go
maybe
Rod.
Zets. Yeah, I was gonna say either Zetsubo or Go Rod. Both of those are also, there's so much stuff to them, and Pack-a-Punch is like 8 steps away, and you have to look at a guide to figure out how to get there. So there's that too, that's the kind of zombies that I prefer. I prefer zombies as a wave survival mode, but more with like 15 other things that you could be doing.
Right.
Yeah. Some people don't like that, which is fair. That's fine, but
I can be both ways. I can be like, I want to get into and grind something out really hard. I want to grind on something really, really until it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Grind on it till it's completed, finished.
Exactly. But there are some, like, honestly, like today, I was playing me some Blops 3 today on actually the first map that we're going to talk about. And that was just a blind fun. I don't care.
Right. Sometimes it's fun to just run in and go through some waves.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the map that you were playing earlier today, Keynote or Toten? We're going to start tiering these. S, A, B, C, D, nothing special.
Yeah. I would say, so for as far as Kino goes, I have so much nostalgia for Kino.
Okay. Wait. Before that,
Before it,
we have to specify that we're tiering these in we're tiering these in a vacuum of Black Ops 3. I would argue not a single one of these maps is anything below A tier if we're comparing it to Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, and Cold War. Because there's a lot of bad maps, and Black Ops 3 didn't have very many of them. So this is in a Black Ops 3 vacuum. If something is C or D tier, it's still better. It's still a good map. It's still better than a lot of other maps that have existed out there.
I guess that's true. Yeah. So I was just about to say I have a lot of nostalgia for Kino, but that doesn't mean it's high, especially comparatively to the ones coming up.
Right. Kino. I have a lot of nostalgia for Kino. My first time playing Kino actually wasn't on a proper Black Ops game. It was on Call of Duty Zombies for the iPod Touch.
Was that a thing?
Mm-hmm. So there used to be a So there was Call of Duty Zombies for Apple devices. I had an iPod Touch 4th generation, and I believe it had Kino 5, which is the other.
Fucking loved 5, but go ahead.
5 is awesome. So, quick side tangent, which is why we need to start getting into the Black Ops 4 maps, because there's a reimagining of 5 on Black Ops 4, which is sick.
I'm in on that.
But anyway, so yeah, I believe the mobile Call of Duty Zombies had Kino 5, Ascension, and Nocturne Toten, I believe. Because at the time this app was available, I believe Black Ops 1 was the newest Call of Duty.
Yikes. Okay. That's old.
2010? I think is when Black Ops 1 came out.
Sounds about right. Around that time.
2010? I think so. So my... it doesn't get any more nostalgic for me other than Kino being my first ever Black Ops Zombies, or just Call of Duty Zombies map I ever played. And man, it's not a complicated map. It's actually one of the more simple maps out there. There's no Easter egg quest. There's still like an Easter egg song. I don't know if they've I mean, every map after World at War, I don't know if they've ever made a map without an Easter egg song. But in a tier list though, Kino.
So what I was going to say about Kino is that it kind of is one of the best maps I can think of for that. Just get in there and go through waves.
Yeah, as far as a casual map goes, it's one of the best. It's not too big. It's not too small. There's plenty of doors. There's a great feeling of progression. The mystery box locations are vast. There's a lot of them. Pack-a-Punch is not too tough to get into, but it's not like so easy where you can just go to it, whenever you wanted.
I mean, literally almost any way you go. No, any way you go leads to power. Like any doors you open.
Because it's at the theater.
It just loops back around to it. I mean,
So I would put it in a strong A. It's just as far as a casual map goes, because we can't just tier these on like complexity and content.
Yeah.
Equal better. Because it's
what,
not.
Yeah, what
it's
is
just
the criteria?
Different.
I guess.
I don't know. Enjoyability. Just like vast enjoyability. It can be complex enjoyability. Like some of these maps are definitely enjoyable because they are so complex. Kino is not one of them, but it's still really fun. I think it's A. Plus Kino's strong history. Holy cow. Kino's been... Yeah. It's just one of the OGs.
I was thinking B, but I'll concede to A because I fucking love it. It's really good.
It is good. After that, we got The Giant, which is also a remaster. It's more of a reimagining than a remaster.
So this is one that I've played a total of one session, pretty much. Because we completed this in the first session, didn't we? Or wait, did we
well,
play this in
you never der played You played actual Der Riese on Black Ops 1.
Right. So I played the OG. So I don't have if it's a reimagining, I don't have much input on that then.
It's not a crazy reimagining. The map layout is identical, except now I believe they added a couple of perk locations. Easter egg is almost the same as it was in Black Ops 1.
I remember it being fairly simple in Black Ops
1. Or actually, we did it in Black Ops 1, but the actual first Der Riese was in World at War. It was the final DLC of World at War. And but we didn't have World at War, so we just did it on Black Ops 1 because Black Ops 1 was a functional just remaster. Map was exactly the same. But anyway, the Giant, also a classic, older than Kino der Toten. Even, I mean, okay. So the map is honestly a bit too small, if you ask me. But so this is the one where there's 3 teleporters and you have to link all 3 to activate Pack-a-Punch.
Right. Similar
to how you would in Kino, except there's 3 of them instead of just 1 teleporter and 1 pad. As it's got one of the best camping spots in Zombies history, the catwalk. That's also iconic. It's not better than Kino. It's another one of those maps that's simple, it's casual, great to play casual. But it's just not... There's not that many mystery box locations. Mainly by consequence of the map being smaller. Well, I guess there is a decent amount considering the size of the map, but I would put it in B.
My only point of reference being the Blops 1 one. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I don't know why. I just didn't find it that appealing. No. I don't know, but I don't know.
It is. It's. I believe. I think it's the map that introduced the Wunderwaffe in World at War. That might be Cap. It might have been introduced in like Shi No Numa. But I think it was. I think it was introduced in Der Riese. It was the first map that brought like an actual, outside of the ray gun, like an actual like infinite damage wonder weapon. Dang. So it's definitely a classic. It's one of the maps that built Zombies. But it's just, compared to today's maps, it's just not as good. It's just not. It's simple, it's nice, it's fine, but it's just not as good.
Let me put it this way. I don't think it's a D tier.
I was going to say either B or C.
I was going to say
C.
Compared to what's coming up, I feel maybe a C.
I think it's C tier, yeah. All right, so you have never played this map.
I think I might have memed it one time for like 5 minutes. And then
Shangri-La. Yeah, Shangri-La, another Black Ops 1 remaster. This one, I believe, is not like Der Riese. It's full of just a remaster, not a reimagining. Very fun. One of the tougher maps out there. It was one of the first, I believe it came after Ascension in Black Ops 1. It was one of the first maps that was like quite a bit more complex and like big. That might have been Call of the Dead that came after. It was one of the earlier maps of Black Ops 1. But so Pack-a-Punch, it was one of the, I definitely know it was one of the first maps where you had to actually think about how you get Pack-a-Punch. It wasn't just obvious. Because there's like these pressure plates around the map that you have to stand on. I believe there's 4 of them, and you have to step on them in an exact order. And if you don't get the order correct, then they all reset. So there's 4 around the map. you have to get all 4 of them to, when you step on them, you have to get all 4 of them to stay reseated in the ground. Yeah. If it's the wrong one, it will not stay reseated in the ground, I believe is how it works. And you just basically have to trial and error the code of 4, and then that will unlock Pack-a-Punch. I believe that's how it works. You know, thinking back on it, it might just be you have to step on all 4 in any order.
I don't know. I never played it.
Oh, no. Maybe it, okay, actually, I think it's player dependent. I think if there's one player, there's still 4 pressure plates, but 3 of them are already reseated in the ground and stay there. And you have to find the one that isn't. If there's 2 players, then that number of reseated plates is to 2, and so on to 4. If there's 4 players, all 4 players have to be stepping on all 4 at the same time to get it to work. I believe is how it goes. Regardless, I'm proving my point right now, but it was one of the first Pack-a-Punches that you didn't just know how to get to, which I liked. It's also a very hard map because it introduced, one, the lanes are just narrow. There's not a lot of training spots. And it introduced so when we were playing that cheese tower, that fire guy,
yeah,
that guy was introduced in Shangri-La. That's what that guy's from.
In Blops 1?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he hurts. One, he walks really slow, which is basically a necessity for him not to be OP. But if he gets close to you, you start to burn and take damage. And when you kill him, which is with a lot of bullets, when you kill him, he freaking explodes. And it also hurts you. So he's basically just like a zombie, but he hits you from afar because you just take constant damage, constant burning damage. And you can't kill him if you're too close to him because you'll die. So he's that comboed with a map that has really tight lanes and there's not a lot of open space. He is a crazy, scary boss. And it's fantastic.
And he's on the remaster as well?
Yes, he's also on the remastered one.
Jeez.
So I think Shangri-La, it did have a full-scale Easter egg as well. Another one of the first maps to do that. The first was actually Ascension. And I don't know if this came before Call of the Dead or not, but that one did too. I would put it in B because there were a lot of downsides to it. Honestly, the tight maps, or the tight lanes were kind of too tight. The layout, not very intuitive. There's monkeys that I believe can take your drops and run the frick away with them.
Oh,
that was super annoying.
It's rude.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So if you drop, it also changes, I believe, when they grab your drop. So there's monkeys. If you get like let's say a max ammo, but the monkey gets to it first, it grabs it and starts taking off with it. And insult to injury, not only are you losing your max ammo if you don't kill this fucker, he changes the drop when you kill him. But that can also be used for good. So if you get like a carpenter and you need a max ammo, when they pick up, it'll start cycling through the different types of drops as he's running away. And you can kill him on the drop you want. So it can be used for good.
That's kind of cool.
It can be used for good, but it's mostly just kind of annoying. So that was one of the things that was kind of annoying. Honestly, like I was talking about, the map layout isn't even all that great. There's not a lot of good training spots. It's really hard to go for a high round on that one. I would put it in B because it was one of the first maps that really started to introduce complexity into zombies, and it had its drawbacks, but it was still pretty good. So I'd say B.
And I have no experience to argue otherwise, so I will agree.
Yeah, next we got Verrückt.
Another one I don't have experience with.
This is also a World at War remaster. a World at War remastered into Black Ops 1, remastered into Black Ops 3. So, Verrückt was one of the 4 OG World at Wars that had, I don't even think, Verrückt didn't have a pack-a-punch, if I remember correctly. Because okay, so I'm remembering this. So Der Riese I don't think it introduced the Wunderwaffe. It might have, but I know what it did introduce. That's the Pack-a-Punch. World at War did not have Pack-a-Punch until Der Riese. So this was one of them that was Pack-a-Punchless. This map, honestly, not as great as the other World at War maps. Specifically in Black Ops 3, it's better because they added perks to it, more perks to it, and like the Wonder Fizz machine. It had a mystery box, couple of locations. The map was pretty small. It's an insane asylum, and it's kind of in this circular format. It is pretty fun on multiplayer because if you spawn with 2 people or more, it spawns you on separate sides of a door that you can't cross until you get to power. So you're separated, and so if one of you goes down, you're just fucked until you get to power, which is pretty fun. It makes the map pretty hard until you do. So that was a pretty fun twist. But other than that, there's nothing really that great about it. It is tight corridors, no pack-a-punch, only a couple of box locations, only 4 perks. Unless you're on the Black Ops 3 version, which this is. But the Wonder Fizz, even then, it makes the map better, but still not great. It's just fine. This is one I would probably put in D tier.
Think so?
It's an OG, but like of the OGs, it's the least good, I would say.
It's fair. This next one is... I don't know. I'm kind of looking ahead and I'm trying to decide if this is Cap. This might be, of the ones I've played, my favorite. And this is Der Eisendrache.
Der Eisendrache. This one has gone down in history as one of the best maps of all time.
I also love the Easter egg. Now, I don't remember all the aspects of it. But
dude, I remember most of it. And I can tell you, we got hung up on the Simon Says step like 5 times, dude, and the boss like 10 times.
That's the one thing I remember. I remember the boss being...
Dude, the boss
very
fight
difficult.
is so tough. The boss fight is hard. It's so hectic, and your heart is pounding at like 180 beats per minute the whole time because there's like 15 Panzers spawning the whole time. It's so crazy. And it's so much fun and hard, and you die a lot.
And which one is the what's the weapon that you get in this one?
The 4 bows.
The bows, right? I couldn't remember if it was the bows or the spears, but the spears come later.
The elemental bows. So good. Such a good... Oh, man. One of the best... So the reason they actually did that is this map was very similar to Origins from Black Ops 2. It took a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah.
The 4 elemental wonder weapon thing to be one of them. And it's so good. You get to pick what you want. I like the lightning bow. I think everybody likes the lightning bow because it's probably the best. You just shoot a charged shot at the ground, and then anything that walks into the lightning storm dies. And it stays for like 10 seconds. The lightning bow is probably the best.
That is, I remember that being OP. You're right.
Yeah, it was so good. The wolf bow is super good. If you literally can have a full horde of zombies behind you, and you just shoot a charged shot at it, and they all just instantly die. It can't like continue killing like the lightning bow can, but it can kill a lot faster if you're like in a pinch. The void bow, honestly, as far as a get out of jail free card goes, if you're like stuck in a corner, probably the worst. but it just stays killing. Like, you just shoot it on the ground somewhere and it spawns a void into like hell or some shit, and a bunch of skulls come out and just start eating the heads of zombies, and they fly around everywhere and they keep killing for like a while. So as far as just like passive clearing out, this is probably the best, because you just shoot the ground and the skulls just kind of like go eat stuff.
Right.
that one's really fun. And then the fire bow, that one's probably my least favorite. You shoot it a charged shot and it grabs zombies' legs with like a mini volcano underneath them and kills them.
Right.
I believe if you shoot like a charged shot into a full horde, it'll kill all of them. But it's not as, I think this is probably the least good one. The fire one. All of them are pretty, I mean, they're all still wonder weapons. They're all better than basically everything else. But
this one has some cool aspects of it. This map does. I think the teleport to the rocket pad, I think is really cool.
Rocket pad. Oh man, the rocket pad, yes, but also how if you don't get into the safety base as the rocket's going off, you're just toast.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You gotta be freaking careful. And
there's a pack-a-punch spawn down there. So,
was there?
Yeah, there was a pack-a-punch on the launch pad.
Oh, that's right. And then if you wanted to get to pack-a-punch and you weren't able to get there, you were fricked. Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty sick.
And then the pyramid room had 0G, which is sick.
Oh yeah, the pyramid. Oh man, yeah, being able to wall run and float on walls, that was sick. That was super sick.
Wasn't that a pyramid in there, or am I confusing that with Moon?
Yeah. There also was one in Moon.
Oh, okay. Both. Okay.
Similar thing.
Yeah, that was sick. And the when you're teleporting, and you go back in time and you do some lore.
Oh, that
stuff.
Easter egg step where you go back in time. Yeah.
Dude, that makes me want to go back.
Honestly, such a good Easter egg. And Simon Says,
dude, that one pissed me off, but
that one's so hard. Because you have to do so. Not only when you activate this step, the shape picking step, when you do it, an infinite amount of dogs will spawn. Never-ending amount of dogs.
Yeah.
And there's two panels, one on the rocket pad and one up top. The up top one, you know what? It's fine. You can do it. But the one on the rocket pad, if you are doing it and then the rocket starts to take off, you're fucked. Because if you lose one, you lose both.
Yeah.
So if you complete the Simon Says on computer terminal 1 and start it on computer terminal 2 but fail, you have to do both of them again.
We were on that step for a while.
We were on it for so long because you will not only have to do that, you have to time the second computer terminal with not getting burned by the rocket and an infinite dog spawn the entire time. And when the dogs are infinitely spawning, you have to try not to kill the last zombie that you're presumably saving to not start the next round, because when you start the next round, it also resets the computer terminals that way too. So that's such a hard step, but man, is it so much fun. Yeah,
that whole map is fun. So which leads us to this question. Is it S or is it A?
It's gotta be S.
Think so?
I would play over Kino, comparing it to the A tier Kino. Yeah, it's S.
Yeah.
One of the best maps of all time.
I'm down with that. I fucking love it.
Oh yeah, and also not to mention, it brought back the Panzer for the first time since Origins, which also a horrifying boss. Not only does he have a grapple, but he also has a flamethrower. And specifically the Dreisenjacke version of the Panzer, he also has like these blue exploding charges that he shoots at you. Terrifying boss. Because you can hear him stomping from like the other side of the map, loud, and you just know he's coming and you're gonna die.
And then you go to the boss fight and there's 50 of them.
And then you go to the boss fight and there's freaking 50 of them. All right. Yeah, F tier for sure. We got Ascension. This is also a Black Ops 1 remaster.
Don't think I've played this one.
First ever map with an Easter egg quest line. It's not that involved. It's basically just like shoot a couple things, throw a couple, shoot a couple things and do a bunch of damage to a thing with like Matryoshka dolls. And that's pretty much the Easter egg. It's definitely a first time thing, and you can tell. But it's iconic. It's a big map. One of the easiest maps ever. It had... Reason being is because it was so wide open. There's like... Just... If you landed at any point in the map, it's probably a good training spot that you can just run in circles and get a horde going. It also is easy because it had the Thunder Gun in it, which is one of the best wonder weapons to date. The Thunder Gun is insanely good, infinite damage, and can clear out a full horde with one shot. So that combined with how open it is made it one of the easiest maps ever. I believe highest round ever is in the thousands, I think someone got to.
Jesus.
So they did a cool, interesting twist with it. When you spawn in, everything's in black and white until you get the power on.
Huh.
That's kind of cool. There was another bad thing about it was the special zombie round wasn't dogs, or it wasn't like jumping jacks or bees. No, it was monkeys, and not the monkeys from Shangri-La. These were perk stealing monkeys.
They still steal them off your player?
Correct. They are the most annoying.
Oh God!
It's nobody liked them. Nobody liked this boss round because there's no actual like boss in that map, like a Panzer or like a Brutus type character. It was just these monkeys, and when this happened, if you were a solo player, if you're playing this map solo, you straight up can't keep more than like 3 perks. Because what they do when they spawn is they land in spaceships around the map and they go to the perk machines and steal the perk from you, even if you have it currently. If you have Juggernog and you're defending Speed Cola and Double Tap, and you keep... But a monkey gets to Juggernog and you can't run to the other side of the map in time to kill that monkey on Juggernog, you will lose Jug. And you have to rebuy it. And by the time you get to Juggernog, you've left your post at Speed Cola and Double Tap, and now you're probably going to lose those two now, too. So it's just one of the biggest, most annoying round, special zombie round type like things in the game, in any game.
Hey, that sounds annoying.
They only ever did that in Ascension, thank God, because it was horrible. So other than that, the map's too easy. Honestly, I would C. I would say C. Only reason I wouldn't put it in D, if it didn't have an Easter egg quest line, I would probably put it in D. But at least it started off well with that. So yeah, fair. I'd say C tier.
Gorod Krovi. That is a map that I have some experience. The reason I have experience with this map is because we played it and we had to play quite a bit of it because we couldn't get past it.
I think that was the one we had the most trouble with of the Black Ops 3 Zombies Easter eggs. I think we had the most trouble with Gorod.
It's fairly complicated.
It's a complicated one.
And
it's also not a linear one, because they're one of the honestly, like 70% of the Easter egg maybe not 70, but a good like chunk of it is a step that has you do, I believe, 6 different challenges from what's her name? Like Sierra or something? What's the robot?
Oh God. It's not Sierra.
I know it's not. It's Max's wife.
It's not Sarah, is it?
No. Something.
Look it up. I'm curious, and yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that trajectory.
Max's wife. Sophia.
Yeah,
Sophia.
That's right.
Yes. Sophia. So, yeah. So Sophia would have you do, I believe, 6 challenges. And it's really hard to learn these because a couple of them result in a wipe. Like, as in all players die. Like, there's a bomb one.
Yeah.
And you have to learn the locations of these bomb ones, but you can't just like practice it because if you fail, you die. But you don't know when you're going to get it because the order of the 6 challenges is random.
Right.
So it makes it really hard to learn these challenges and actually get better at them with trial and error. Because you just fail. Because you start on a challenge that you haven't rehearsed, and if you try to like bulk learn the challenges, like read on how to do them all, the chances of you getting one that you're gonna remember that you just read 6 different challenges worth of information and actually know what to do is slim.
Well, because I think it was the bomb one where it's one in each like area. Is that what you're talking about? And you got to disarm them in a certain...
In the correct order. In a correct order.
What we literally had to do, I literally drew a map on paper of the map itself. And then as Sophia was very, very quickly, mind you, very rapidly displaying where they're at and in what order, I had to jot down where they were and in what position.
Yeah.
And then that's how... I don't even know... Did we complete that step even? I don't know.
Yeah. Not on the first try. Because if you click one out of the wrong order, you die. If they all blow up, you die. So, Christ. Tough luck. It's a fucking hard step. So, what was another one? The cipher. The cipher step. We had to get a cipher through tubes across the map and collect the cipher. Remember this one? We had to go around the map, look at the locations, find the one that had the cipher stuck in it, and we also had to find the tube that had the light on it to figure out that that's where we needed to get the cipher to go. And each one of these dials had, I believe, like 4 numbers on it, and each dial across the map had to have a specific like number based on some mathematical thing going on. I can't remember it exactly.
Well, and we never knew how to do it because there was an online calculator to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. So there was a mathematical equation you had to do to get it, but we said, fuck that. We just did an online calculator. We find the end point and the beginning point, and we set all the dials based on inputting the end and beginning point calculator. And it just told us because we didn't know how to figure that out. Yeah, I still don't know how to figure that out. So, that was another complicated one.
One thing this map had that I really like in Zombies maps is an alternate location. I like going to an alternate location. And this one had
the Pack-a-Punch. Oh, man. The Pack-a-Punch room was sick. It had 3 floors. The top floor, a base floor, and a basement. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Pack-a-Punch,
and you had to go through
so cool.
the waves in there. Like they would all come into the room. It was really cool. And the side, it would change after each wave or when you did the
and you ride there on a dragon.
Yeah, I mean that's the coolest part about it, really.
Yeah, and you can get a little baby dragon on your arm.
Right.
That you can burn stuff with or just let fly around.
Well, this
that
is
was
the one,
sick.
This is the one you can get like wings and stuff too, can't you?
Yeah, so there is so many different like player accessories. There was for completing challenges in the game. If you go to so there's 3 spots where you can fly to Pack-a-Punch from. 3 points of the 3 ends of the map. If you fly to Pack-a-Punch from all 3 locations, you get access to the dragon's wings, which then allow you to fast travel to the Pack-a-Punch. Manglers were a mini boss in that one. I believe if you pop the helmets off of like 10 Manglers or something like that, you get access to the Mangler helmet accessory, which allows you to do more damage to Manglers. Same thing goes for the drones. If you shoot the arms off of like 5 or 10 different drones, or shoot like 15 arms off or something like that, you can get the drone helmet, which allows you to do more damage to drones. So there was these challenges that gave you accessories that helped your performance in the game, that was so cool. That's sick.
Yeah.
And that was completely independent from the Easter egg quest. So you could just do it if you wanted and get a cool thing for like a high round. And the the zombie shield in that was also sick because you could shoot flames with it. If you had the shield equipped, you could use your melee key and it shoots a blast of fire that explodes zombies. That was also super sick.
And all of those different attachments and customizations, you might hear that and go, well, wouldn't that make it easy? No.
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 No, this map, Gorod was another hard one. It was a hard one. The wonder weapon was the ray gun Mark III. It was a dual wield ray gun. If you shot, so I believe your left hand was like normal, like just ray gun blast, and your right hand was like kind of an explosion blast, like a little mini black hole. But if you shoot your right gun blast at zombies, it didn't do that much damage, but it slowed them down dramatically. Your left hand shot would kill them pretty good, but it didn't have that much ammo in it. The way to use it is you shoot the slowdown blob, and then you shoot the blob with your ray gun shot, and then it turns into a black hole. And then it becomes way too good because you have a lot of black holes. You have a lot of ammo of it. If you use it sparingly, it can take out more than a full horde. So a full horde is 24 zombies. That's the most amount of zombies that can spawn on the map at a time. It can kill more than 24 because it stays around long enough for them to respawn and die again. So
Jesus.
Ray Gun Mark III might be the most overpowered wonder weapon up to that point.
I mean, shoot. You can we'd be in that Pack-a-Punch room upstairs during the lockdown, and you just go up the stairs and then just put a black hole at the upstairs.
Stay at the top of the stairs, put a black hole at the top of the stairway. You're good for a freaking while until you run out of ammo.
Yeah, they'll just run into the black hole and die.
Yeah, Ray Gun Mark III was super good. Super good. So, also, unfortunately, that was the only map that ever had the Ray Gun Mark III. But it was a good one. I mean, what are the downsides of this map, dude?
Does it go right to S? I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's hard. Honestly, Der Eisen you could say that it's a little bit too easy because honestly, the lightning bow kind of just, you can stand in one spot and shoot at the ground and it has like 90 shots. So maybe you could make the argument that Der Eisendrache is a little too easy, specifically if you're not trying to do the Easter egg.
I was gonna say, it's a little too easy until you get to the boss battle.
Until you try to do the Easter egg on it, then it gets really hard. It's not an easy Easter egg. But Gorod, also, it's S tier is the right spot for it. I don't know if it's better than Der Eisen. I don't know if it's worse than Der Eisen, but it's definitely S tier. It's an amazing map.
Personally, I think I have more fun on Horizon.
I would say Horizon is more casual. It's more well, maybe not more casual, but it is more easy to play if you want to play a casual game.
This one, it does seem like that. It doesn't like I can just boot into a game of Horizon and just kind of frick around for a little bit. Go-Rod, you kind of got to go in with a purpose. Or you're not going to get far.
Yeah. So I think the versatility of Horizon can beat out Go-Rod. But I mean, Go-Rod's still up there. It's one of the best.
It's one of my favorites, definitely. Another one of my favorites is Zetsubo.
Zetsubo no Shima. This one was a lot of fun too. This was a weird one. So I'm already inclined to say I don't want to put it in S. I don't think it's as good.
That's fair.
Because there were more annoying things about this map. The Wonder Weapon, the KT-4, honestly, not that good.
Explain that one to me again. What was that one?
So the KT-4, it could be upgraded. It effectively was like a goo cannon, and it stuck around, and you could shoot this goo into a zombie, and the zombie would like slip in it and explode, and more zombies could run into it and slip in it and explode.
I have no recollection of this at all, actually.
It just wasn't that effective. Like,
I remember where you got it. I remember he was like down in the bunker.
You build it. And you also have to build the upgrade kit for it. So not only... That's another thing. The Wonder Weapon, it's not really easy to get. You can't just get it out of the mystery box. And there's no like substitute. So like Go-Rod and Horizon, Go-Rod had ray gun Mark 3s you could get out of the mystery box. Horizon had the bow, non-upgraded, which also was a Wonder Weapon. Also super easy to get. Just kill or fill up the 3 dragons around the map and you get the bow.
Right.
Zetsubo didn't have that. There was no like, if you didn't want to play hardcore, you just straight up don't get a Wonder Weapon in it, unless it's a ray gun, which is as far as as the world of Wonder Weapons go, it's just not good. So I don't, and even then, when you do build it, it's not that good. The bosses, the mini bosses, shoot, what were those fat?
Yeah, there was
those the things that eat you. If you're down, they can literally like gobble you up.
God, those were annoying.
And run around with you. They're simply annoying.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were more annoying than like fun to play against, because they had these orange spots on them where they would only take damage there. But not only that, they would randomly appear anywhere because they get normal zombies turn into them. If you get orange gas from shooting a spore onto a group of normal zombies, they will turn into this thing anywhere in the map. And not only was that kind of annoying, but just the boss in general, the spots on them to shoot were kind of annoying to shoot because they were running around. They honestly did a hell of a lot of damage. Like if you had Jug, the one hit from them would red screen you.
Jesus.
So like they just were kind of annoying. They were just annoying. The Wonder Weapon wasn't that good. If you wanted to play casually, there was no Wonder Weapon for you.
But here's what I liked about Zetsubo. It had so many good areas. And it's such a variety of areas to be.
It did. Honestly, yeah. The map design on it, I actually loved. I really did. Spiders.
And the big spider? The freaking spider room?
Oh, the big spider, dude.
To get Widow's Wine?
Bro, yeah.
It's sick.
Honestly, that's a super fun sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that is pretty fun.
Honestly, I would love more things like that. Like to get a perk instead of buying it, you could just like go and defeat a boss to get the perk that they drop or something. That's
right, because
a cool
when
concept.
You kill this spider, you go back into like behind it into its like lair, and it has like this water pool behind it.
Right.
And the pool of water is just Widow's Wine.
Yeah.
Because it's like spider water. And instead of buying it, you just drink from the spider's pool of Widow's Wine. So super cool way to get Widow's Wine. Super cool way. I loved that. So yeah, and on it, the way to turn on power was,
God, where was power? Was
tedious.
it in the bunker?
So yes, but you had to get, the only way you could get to the bunker was by filling up site A and B.
Oh,
with
that
water
step was so
first.
annoying.
Yeah, so the power was tedious. Power was pretty fucking annoying. So you had to get to the bunker. There was site A and site B, which were separate paths with separate full price doors, mind you. You had to get a bucket and fill that bucket with water and fill the reservoir in site A and in site B in a short time period.
Yeah.
So you could fill it. It wasn't super short. You had enough time to fill it, quickly run over to site B, fill that, and that would work. If there's two players, you might as well just coordinate filling at the same time to save the time. But that doesn't get you power. That simply opens the bunker. And then from the bunker to get to the power switch, you then have to start a lockdown while you're underwater.
Right.
That lasts like 30 to 45 seconds. And you have to kill zombies during this lockdown period. And only then can you get to the power switch and turn on power. So honestly, I freaking hated the sequence of getting power. It was just tedious and annoying every time.
But with all of that, I still don't think it's any less than B. I think it's B.
I don't think it's C or D. Because Easter egg, pretty fun. Big ass spiders zombie. You get to shoot down a plane. You kill. Oh man, the boss in that one was also a tough one. You kill Takio inside one of these plant things.
Oh shit! Right.
And in a whole new area that you didn't see until the very end, till the very boss fight. Okay, it had a really fun Easter egg. I liked the Easter egg a lot. It was just really. A lot of the things on that map are just tedious. Getting the wonder weapon is tedious. Upgrading it is tedious. Getting power is tedious. It's just, yeah. Honestly, the plants and the seed system kind of tedious because you have to water it with different colors of water to get a certain result. Pretty tedious. There was a lot of things that map just didn't do right. But I still really liked it. So I would put it in B. I want to put it in A, but there's just too many drawbacks.
Yeah, I think you going through it reminded me how tedious some of the steps were.
Yeah,
so I think I would probably agree. B is fair. That doesn't
the map.
Mean it's bad.
The map. Loved the map. Like not the layout. I loved the layout. Loved the areas. The under the basement area, the spider area, the freaking different like webs. That was another tedious thing is spiders could create webs in front of doorways and over perks. So you had to chop them down. That was kind of freaking annoying because it didn't serve any purpose. There was no reason for it, but you had to chop through spider webs to get through areas. That would get you killed sometimes. And just chop up webs so you could buy your perk again. Another tedious thing. So like it did a lot of things wrong, but the layout, great. I love the map. I love the Easter egg. Super fun Easter egg. So yeah, I would put it B for sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
We got Moon. This is a good one. So this is another Black Ops 1 remaster. This was the final map of Black Ops 1. It had one of the most involved Easter eggs up to that point. Because the only Easter eggs up to that point were Derice, Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead was kind of a tough one. But Derice, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Ascension. None of which came to the complexity of Moon. Okay, There's a lot of moon right and there's a lot of moon wrong in my head. Well, what are you thinking about moon here?
I mean, I really liked it. I thought it's different, you know, and that's what I liked about it. I like the you know, the zero gravity. I like how it changes. There's like 0G in some areas and not 0G in some areas.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
That was cool.
I like the teleporter to and from Earth.
Yeah, Pack-a-Punch is cool.
I think that's pretty sick. Otherwise, I don't think the Easter egg was all that eventful for me or interesting to me. The ending was spectacular.
The ending, I would say maybe best Easter egg to an ending ever. Literally blowing up the Earth and starting the events of Black Ops 2. Yeah. Maybe the best ending to an Easter egg ever, for sure. Yeah.
But the actual Easter egg itself, I just didn't... it wasn't super compelling to me for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can kind of get behind that. It did just seem there was also a Simon Says step in that one.
That one wasn't as bad, if I recall.
No, that one wasn't as hard as the Simon Says in Horizon for sure. That one wasn't shape based; it was color based. But there wasn't an infinite spawn of dogs. It was outside in the zero gravity, so all the zombies were slow. Helpful. So if you had one person that could just take the zombie, you know, you're fine. You can just chill. And it didn't reset upon round changes or anything like that. And there wasn't two of them that you had to complete back to back or else you fail. So yeah, much more forgiving, Simon Says step. Much more forgiving. The Easter egg, honestly, I agree. I do think the events, the steps were eventful. I like the process of the Easter egg, but I hate the RNG of the Easter egg because you need 3 items from the mystery box.
Yep. I think maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I think maybe that's because I don't remember. This has been a while since we've done them, and I only really did them once when we did them. But I think maybe that's why it wasn't. It's not sticking out in my brain because I just remember just being frustrated.
Yeah.
That's my association.
You need wave gun for step 2. And it's not even just box RNG, but I'll get to more later. So you need the wave gun, you need QEDs, and you need the black hole pads, whatever those were called. All 3 of those things. And if you're doing it solo, you can't hold the QEDs and the black hole pads at the same time.
Right.
So if you were solo, even worse. But luckily, only one of us needed QEDs. One of us needed what are these called? I can't keep calling them black hole pads. What they were called? They were better than like monkey bombs. When you throw them, all the zombies run after them and stand around it until the monkey explodes. These were better than monkeys because it opens a black hole and it sucks all the zombies in and kills them immediately. What? I'm googling this. What was the
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I should specify that I'm talking about Black Ops Zombies.
Hey,
I googled it and it says in November 2021, CNET reported that some scientists believe the moon may have been hit by an atomic-sized black hole. Okay, it's like okay, yeah, cool. Gersh device. That's what it was called.
Oh, yeah. The Gersh device.
So yeah, these were introduced in Ascension, brought back in Moon. So yeah, the Gersh device. When you throw it on the ground, it opens up this purple black hole and it sucks all the zombies in. It's an amazing device. If you're in a pinch, toss one and then you can go revive a teammate or whatever. It's better than monkey bombs. But the fact that you needed it for a specific step of the Easter egg was super annoying. And then you also needed QEDs for another step of that Easter egg. Super annoying. You needed the wave gun, but you only needed that wave gun after the excavator, which could excavate 3 places, Tunnel 6, Tunnel 11, and the Biodome. The excavator had to excavate Tunnel 6, and it would do that randomly.
Right.
which sometimes didn't happen until well into the high teens of rounds. So super just, if the Easter egg was doable without so much RNG, I think I would much more enjoy it, because the actual steps I liked. There was the soul collection step of the canisters at the four corners of the pyramid, which was cool.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I liked that.
I like the Simon Says, and most of the other stuff is just like there's a instance where you're going, Maxis and Richtofen are literally having a conversation, arguing with each other when you're booping buttons on a computer. That's fun lore to listen to. And you get to the part where you fill all the souls in the pyramid and it opens up and Samantha's inside because she's controlling the zombies, and it's like a big fucking twist and shit. So honestly, I like the Easter egg a lot. I hate doing it because of the RNG. So big L for that. Another thing, again, I like the zero gravity, but the excavating is really annoying.
Right.
Because it can decompress those areas, and the only way to stop that excavator from doing that is to put your spacesuit away and grab a hacker and run back to spawn and hack the excavator to get it to not destroy the map.
Right.
So that also is pretty annoying. And I do like being able to teleport back to the Earth, but I hate that Speed Cola and Juggernog are both on Earth, and it's random.
Oh, and
it's
like
not
alternated.
Random.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alternating which one is there when you teleport back to the moon. So if you go down, you were just at Earth and Jug was there. If you come back to the moon, you go down, you can't get Jug until you go back to Earth twice. Because when you go back to Earth, it's going to be Speed Cola next. And you need to leave and go back again to get Jug. Super annoying. I thought that was so dumb.
Yeah.
So
more RNG. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
RNG,
more RNG. It's just it's the map of RNG is what it is. But there was so much fun about it. Like,
yeah,
the zero gravity was so much fun. Honestly, the boss kind of lurking around the astronaut that just had the names of developers. That was kind of fun.
That was pretty cool. I forgot about that guy. He wasn't really a threat, but like, you got to keep your eye out for him. Yeah.
If he grabs you, he takes away your one of your perks and then teleports you with a red screen. Sometimes he can teleport you into a pile of zombies with that red screen, to which you will inevitably die. That doesn't usually happen, but you lose a perk. He doesn't take that much damage to kill. He'll respawn in like a round or two. Kind of honest, I didn't mind the boss in that. He was still a threat that you needed to like be aware of, but he wasn't that bad. He wasn't annoying. So I liked him. Like I said, Zero G is fun. The Easter egg, RNG aside, I think is really awesome. Best ending to an Easter egg ever. Definitely one of the most lore-rich Easter eggs.
Let me tell you what I was thinking, and then you tell me how you feel about it. B tier.
Thinking B, I don't know. I was fighting B and A.
I don't know if I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play a map, and let's just say that the choice was between Moon and Zetsubo. It would be I don't know. I don't know which one I would do. It would be kind of a toss up. I think the fun to annoyingness ratio is balanced between Zetsubo and Moon.
It's pretty similar. Yeah, you're right. I think B tier is right. Moon is a classic. It was one of the most advanced maps of its time in Black Ops 1. But
if you're going for a spectacular ending to an Easter egg, that's the one.
Yeah, if you want an Easter egg that you will remember, that's the one to do, because it's a good one. But you're probably not going to do it your first, second, third, or fourth try due to no fault of your own. is the problem. So,
and if you want to play a little bit of all kinds of different maps, you'll play this next one.
Revelations, the final map of Black Ops 3. So this is, in my opinion, the most... Okay, there's some Black Ops 4 maps that top this. But at the time, I think Revelations was the most confusing, the most complicated map of its time. So it's so complicated because there are 100 different things that you can do aside from the Easter egg. There are challenges. There's like challenge tombs that you can do. There are like 4 different wonder weapons that all have their own independent upgrade. No, I think there's several different wonder weapons, but I'm pretty sure the Apothicon Servant is the only one that had its own independent upgrade quest. Because there was the Apothicon Servant, which could be upgraded, which to this day is still even better than the Ray Gun Mark III. It is the best wonder weapon ever.
Oh, this the map? Is this the map where you go into the Apothicon or whatever?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You can go inside the Apothicon. That's where Pack-a-Punch is. Because when you spawn, the Apothicon swarms in and eats the Pack-a-Punch machine. And this you spawn with Pack-a-Punch, and then it eats it.
Yeah, and then this is the one also where when you're in the Apothicon, you have to throw the grenades into the holes and shit.
Correct. You have to throw the little Arnies into the slots of the Apothicon belly.
And then half the frickin' time you miss your shot. Yeah.
Yeah. And another half the time you're throwing it into the hole and a zombie's crawling out of it at the same time and you miss. So that's an Easter egg step. That's like halfway through. So when you spawn, an Apothicon eats the Pack-a-Punch machine and you are not told how to get it. The steps to get it are you have to go around the extremely confusing map because it is like 10 maps. You have to go around the maps, and there's 4, what were they called? Like, those pedestals that you have to, like, activate, like generators, but not.
I don't remember what they were called.
Yeah, they were called something. Regardless, there are 4 of them all around the map, and when you activate one, it activates a portal to Nocturne Toten, which Nocturne Toten is like, you can call it like the center of the map because there's 4 portals that go to each side of the map, and you can run around the whole map in a circle. You can run through all of these around the sides, but each one has a portal at this generator station that leads to Nocturne Toten that you can fast travel with. Once you get all 4 of these, you still don't get Pack-a-Punch. You then have to go to Nocturne Toten and time zapping the Apothicon flying by with these Tesla coils. So there's a control panel, and you're looking out into space, and there's an Apothicon flying around. At a point, the Apothicon will fly close to where you are, and at that point, you have to bash a button on this control panel.
Right.
And that will activate these Tesla coils and force the Apothicon to open its mouth to you. And from then, you can go inside the Apothecon's belly, and you still don't get Pack-a-Punch yet. From there, you're just inside it, running around. You have to shoot the Apothecon's, like, what's that ball sack in the back of your throat?
Uvula.
Your uvula. You have to shoot this guy's uvula down. I don't think it's actually his uvula, but it's a uvula-looking thing. At 3 points, holding the Pack-a-Punch suspended in the air, and then it will fall, and then you can Pack-a-Punch. So the Pack-a-Punch in this, it's a while before you get it, and it's not clear how you get it without a guide. So, but the map honestly, is cool. But the map is so cool. It's all the maps. It's got a little bit of obviously Noct, Kino Origins, Mob of the Dead, Verrückt, Shangri-La, Dryzen, and I believe a few others. But it's all these maps just stitched together. And that's one of the reasons why it's just so wildly confusing.
Yeah.
But there's the Apothicon Servant, and you can get this out of the mystery box, but you can't Pack-a-Punch it. The upgrade is a separate quest where you have to shoot these like flying asteroids in the sky. And once you upgrade it, it's the best weapon in the history of zombies. Any game after, any game before. Literally, you just shoot it at the ground, shoot it anywhere, and it spawns like a 15-second black hole that just sucks everything in. Zombies, bosses, everything. It just sucks everything in and kills it. It can kill way more than a full horde, because you can shoot it at a spawn point, and they will just keep spawning and dying and spawning and dying and spawning and dying and spawning. The most overpowered weapon ever. But not only did it have that, it also had one of the next most overpowered weapons ever, the Thunder Gun.
Yeah.
And it had the Ray Gun Mark 1 and 2. It was everything.
You know what else Revelations had that I just remembered? It had that near Dryzen. It had that wall run challenge. Remember that?
Oh, yes, and
cool.
you could get a perk.
Yep,
from a wall run challenge. Yeah. And
Which
this one
is
also
awesome.
That's so sick. Yeah, parkour shit. That's so sick. And it also had, similar to Go Rod, it also had these accessory challenges. And Go Rod had like 5 total, 4. Revelations has like 10.
Jesus.
I don't even know all of them. And some of them are really hard. Like really hard, because they give you insanely good buffs. Like I believe one of them is like a Juggernog helmet, and it gives you 2 extra hits on top of the 5 you get before you die. So that's way overpowered.
Yeah.
So some of the helmets, the amount of accessory helmets you can get on that one are huge. So there's so much of that. There's also the challenges, the if you go to your pedestal thing inside of Noct, there's 3 challenges you can do, which will grant you a perk or a Pack-a-Punched weapon or a max ammo, I believe. So that's cool. Inside, it had Lil Arnie's, which also are better than monkey bombs. It spawns a squid that just like flings its tentacles and kills zombies that run at it. It's super cool. The Easter egg. Another really tough one. Also, the boss fight was notable. Killing the Shadow Man. Very notable.
Yeah.
Inside, there was tons of Margwas spawning all the time. And not only... Okay,
also had Margwas.
The map had Margwas, which are some of the most difficult bosses in Zombies history, because you can't just like kill them with firepower. You have to kill all 3 of their heads, but you can only damage their heads when it's open, which isn't always. And it also, if you don't have Jug, it 1-hits you. If you do have Jug, it 1-hit red screens you. So if you're trapped with a Margwa, because you can't just like shoot the ground with a wonder weapon and kill it, it's so tough. It's so menacing. So, but not only just Margwas, this map had elemental Margwas, fire and ice Margwas. If it's like they slam the ground, it shoots a line of fire towards you. They were even harder Margwas. So, man, there was a lot of things that made this map easy, like the several overpowered wonder weapons and honestly, there was a lot of space on that map. There was just a lot of space. It was a big map. Right. A lot of things to run around and Not a lot of places to get stuck. The amount of accessory challenges that you could get, the amount of helmets that could give you buffs, that made it easier. But then it just makes it harder with Margwas, and the Easter egg was really hard. Like, one of the steps is going inside the Apothicon, and Pack-a-Punch, the process to get Pack-a-Punch, that makes it hard. One of the things you have to do, and we died at this step, I think like 4 times maybe, is when we get into the Margwa, there's 9 holes.
Right.
And you get 3 little Arnies in your inventory, max. You have to throw a little Arnie in each hole of the Margwa, and you can't leave. If you leave, your progress resets. So you have to throw 3 in there, get 3, hope for a max ammo, or just have the other player have with his 3 little Arnies, get the next 3. Then you actually have to wait for a max ammo to get the final 3. But there's a caveat. For each hole you get, it spawns a Margwa. So if you get 3 holes, it spawns 3 Margwas inside this small area of the Apothecon's stomach. All while zombies and bees spawn in there too. So super tough step. But man, I think the boss was even harder than, like, I don't know. The boss might be like on par with Derizen boss difficulty.
Right.
Not only is there Margwas spawning in that, but the floor is changing and moving. And at some points it turns to fire and shit like that. So, but I don't think it's S though.
You don't think so?
I'm thinking A. I'm thinking A because if you're trying to play it casually,
yeah,
you
Good
just
luck with that. Good luck
you
with
can't.
that.
There is not that option. There just simply is not that option. Like,
yeah,
it's like Go Rod. You're playing that map with a purpose. So
I think A is good because A tier I think still means it's one of the best maps of all time. I would say.
yeah, it's still great.
At least this game.
Yeah, this game. Like I said, I think all this game's maps are good. I don't think Verrucht is a bad map, or Derice or Ascension. I think they're great. I think they're great maps. But in the Black Ops 3 sphere, I think they're on the lower end. So
yeah,
but yeah, A tier is still fantastic. What is that? What is that? Is that Noct?
I believe so. This is another one I don't have much experience with.
Yeah, Nocturne Toten, the first ever zombies map.
The only experience I have with Noct is in Revelations.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is also World at War map, the first ever zombies map, remastered in Black Ops 1 and remastered in Black Ops 3. I mean, it's really small. The Black Ops 3 version has perks. The World at War and Black Ops 1 version do not. Very small, 1 box location, 3 doors.
Seems like there's not a ton going on.
There's not a lot to say about it. I mean, yeah, it's the first map of zombies, so like it gets something for that. But
yeah,
in the world of zombies maps today, if we were looking at it completely objectively with no like history and the lore behind that map, it's just D tier.
Yeah,
there's nothing to it. Which, I mean, it kind of hurts to say because it's the map that started it all, but like,
I mean, you can respect something's history and recognize that by today's standards, it's not.
It doesn't hold up to snuff. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's there's no Easter eggs on it. Well, there are Easter eggs. I think if you shoot all the exploding canisters outside the map, I think it plays a song. But that might be like one of the only few Easter eggs in it. There's certainly no Easter egg quest line. So yeah, good map. Casual is your only option. It's very small. Whatever. Yeah. That's what I have to say about it.
Shadows of Evil, though. Now, here's the reason I like this one. Here's the reason. Because everything felt so different.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's got this like jazzifiedness to it. Obviously, all the jingles, vibe. All the jingles have been redone to be jazzy. Like new characters and all that. I mean, it's such a fresh experience.
Yeah,
and that's what I really like about that one.
I like that too. There's really no other map like it. So this was the launch map with Black Ops 3, and they hit it out of the park with this one. So it's big. It's got a lot of stuff. It's got a fast travel system, the tram overhead.
Right.
It introduced Margwas, not the Super Margwas from Revelations, but it introduced Margwas, where you were introduced to the Shadow Man. You thought he was a good guy. You got to Pack-a-Punch, realized he was a bad guy, and then you spend the entirety of Black Ops 3 trying to kill him. So, the perks were in good locations. There was no annoying mechanic. It also introduced the bees, which the bees are in high quantities, can be tough, but otherwise aren't that threatening. Like if they're all shooting their piss at you, then you can die pretty quickly to them. But if there's only like a couple, they're not very threatening. Pack-a-Punch was sick. The Pack-a-Punch room where you had to wall run over a fucking death void to get to it.
Right. Yeah.
That shit's sick. Because to get to Pack-a-Punch, you had to make 4 sacrifices of people that were close to the original to the 4 characters, and you get 4 worms. Once you place all these worms, the 4 worms get put on pedestals in the Pack-a-Punch room, and they start pissing into a portal. And that portal, when you go through the ritual, the wall run spots build, so you can wall run across them, and that portal that these worms are pissing in becomes Pack-a-Punch, it's a super cool Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch process is it's not too tough, not too complicated. It's good. The map is honestly big as frickin' hell.
Right.
The really big map.
It's like a whole freaking city almost, like a whole downtown area of a city. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like it. It's a really big map. Shoot. There's quite a few Easter eggs on it. Like there's also there is the main quest. The only map of Black Ops 3 that requires 4 players to be able to complete the quest. So it's actually a tough one because there's quite a bit of coordination involved with it. Specifically in the final few steps. The beast mode mechanic was super cool. There was no power switch. There was just individual like power panels for each item. They had to zap while you were in beast mode. And you could like break open doors and stuff when you were in beast mode. And you run so freaking fast. And you had this like tentacle grapple to get up to places. Beast mode was sick. Super cool mechanic. It was kind of just a modification of the whatever that afterlife mode was from Mob of the Dead.
Yeah.
But also though, not a very casual map. I'd say it's more casual than Revelations.
Right. I would say you can get in, because I did this, you can kind of get in and mess around for a little bit and have a good time. But
there's a lot of tight spaces. It is another one of those, like, it's not as bad as like Shangri-La, but it's one of those maps where there's not a lot of spaces to like run around, get a big group going on. Downstairs in the Pack-a-Punch room is a little bit open, but other than that, not so much. It introduced Widow's Wine, which Widow's Wine is one of the best perks. It saves you because if a zombie hits you and you have a grenade, then the grenade detonates and freezes all the zombies around you and keeps you from being hit further.
Right.
Which is super handy and also can be annoying if you're trying to save a zombie and it hits you and explodes. But you can avoid that by just tossing all your grenades and it won't do it. So pretty good perk. But like the overall, the main wonder weapon was the Apothicon Servant, and in that map it couldn't be upgraded. There was no other wonder weapon. The enjoyment level, the map, it seems like it has all the ingredients of a really good map, but I just never seem to enjoy it as much as Derizen or Gorod.
Right. I don't think it's S.
I don't think it's S.
And I don't think it's lower than B.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on class with like a Zetsubo. I would put it in... I was thinking like A.
I was thinking A or B. You thinking A?
Because it's definitely better than Moon and Zetsubo and Shangri-La. But I don't know. I honestly have no idea what it is. I feel like I never feel like I'm just casually enjoying the rounds when I'm playing that game. It's just not as enjoyment. There's just not as much enjoyment as I get when I play Gorod or Derizen.
Yeah,
but it's still true. A really good map, I think.
And I'm just gonna say this now. This is my opinion. The jingles are straight up an upgrade from the normal jingles, and the normal jingles are good.
Yeah, but the aesthetics of just the whole map aesthetic is awesome. It's just really awesome.
I watched a Black Ops jingle tier list one time. I did. It was really interesting. But we ought to do one of those sometime because I have opinions. But yeah, no, the Shadows of Evil ones were always ranked high, and I totally agree. They're just, I don't know, it was so fresh. It was so nice. I like them.
Yeah, there's really no map like Shadows of Evil before it and after it. It's really unique, and it did it well. It played the aesthetic well, had all the ingredients for a good map, and it is a fantastic map. I think it's, yeah. But I just don't think it's as fun as far as pure enjoyment. I don't think it's as fun as Derizen.
Fair.
Yeah. So we got Shi no Numa next.
Never played it.
Another one of those World at War remastered in Black Ops 1, remastered in Black Ops 3. So OG World at War map. Also not a lot to say about this one. It was the first, I believe it was the first DLC map of World at War. It was the first map that introduced perks. It had four areas. There was spawn. You spawn in a shack, and there's 4 like lanes you can go. And when you open a door at one lane, each perk randomly spawns in each of the 4. So the perks are never in the same place. No Pack-a-Punch. This was before Pack-a-Punch was a thing. I think there's 5 mystery box locations. Honestly, really simple map. There's only like a couple of doors. There's no boss. Specifically in World at War, there was a glitch. Where each round would only have a max of 1 horde. So like in every game and every other map, even in World at War, the zombie count would increase with the round count. In Shi no Numa, World at War version of Shi no Numa, there was a glitch where it just would never... The rounds, you could be at round 900, and the full round would be 1 horde of 24 zombies. That would be it. So you could just run around in circles, kill the horde, it'd be next round. And then you would do that to infinity. So you could fly through rounds really quickly in that one. So that was kind of fun. Other than that, not much to speak on. It was the first map that really like started to increase in size, but comparatively still a little small. Not that much to do, really. I would put it in D.
Think so, all the way in D?
I was thinking like a C and a. I was thinking like C and a half, because I think Ascension is better than it. Put it in D. Yeah, I guess just D. I think it's better than Verrückt and Nacht, but it's not quite to the level of Ascension and Derice. All right, last one.
And certainly not least.
Certainly not least. Another absolute banger. It was a remaster from Black Ops 2, Origins. This was the... When this came out in Black Ops 2, it was the best map to date. Up until that point, it was just clear as day, the best map. This map introduced having 4 different elements as a wonder weapon in staves. But not only that, you could get these 4 staves easily. It's like you just, the building process was you just get 3 staff parts and you get a crystal and then you build the staff. It wasn't that hard for most of them. The building process was, the part collecting process was different for each 4. So there was kind of some looking up involved. But once you built them, pretty much every staff was good. And then you could do an upgrade quest for each of them. Also, each one had its own separate, different upgrade quest that you had to look for. I mean, that was the first time a zombies map ever had anything like that. And that was wild. Not only that, it introduced the Panzer, one of the scariest bosses up until that point. The big ass robots were crazy because you could get flattened. And they were so cool.
And you got to go up inside of them.
The map is pretty damn big.
There's a lot of different areas. Yeah.
Lots of areas. There's 6 generators all across the map that turn on, that activate power specifically for their own area. But you have to get all 6 to activate Pack-a-Punch. All 6 also allows you to go inside the mound in the middle of the map, which is where the building stations for the staves are.
Right.
So it's another one of those maps where they really started. So Black Ops 1, they started delving into complexity with Moon. Maybe even Call of the Dead. The maps, Moon, Shangri-La, and Call of the Dead, all of them, they had their elements of complexity and they were starting to get more like involved. Black Ops 2, Origins just boosted that up to 1,000. Because not only did I just mention the building and upgrades for all the staves, there's also a separate quest to get airstrikes, these airstrike grenades. There's a separate quest to get Thunder Fists, which another separate quest can get you Iron Fists. So this is another one of those maps. There's so much stuff. Not only that, but there's no one power switch. There's 6 generators, which that can be destroyed at any given time by zombies. Some zombies will spawn that specifically destroy that generator, and you have to go run and save it. The crazy place.
Yeah, dude, that place was pretty crazy. I'll tell you
what.
The
crazy place was crazy. That's why it was named that, because there's these walls, but they're made out of rocks and they move. And they can land right in front of you with a zombie horde behind you. So that place was tough to survive in, but you needed to, because part of the quests of building the staff was to get the crystal in there. And then part of the quest of upgrading each staff was to put the staff in a pedestal in there and fill it with zombie souls. So you had to stay in that thing for a certain amount of time.
You had to, not only did you have to stay in there, you had to stay in there without your staff.
Without your staff, yeah. So that made it even more ass clenching. Yeah, and to get your Thunder Fists, there with these 4 soul chests around the map. But the thing is, these soul chests are all in the footstep of a robot. And if you don't fill up the chest before the robot steps on it, it will close and reset. So, and there's also mounds that you have to dig up that can give you, they can give you anything from grenades and a zombie to literally a max ammo or a ray gun. Ray gun would pretty much never happen. I've gotten a ray gun once when I had a golden shovel. A golden shovel is something you get when you dig up enough mounds, and it allows you to increase your good stuff drop rate from it. So those were honestly, I liked that system. Digging up random shit, some guns, whatever. That was also the way you built the ice staff, because when you dig up mounds while it's snowing, you could get an ice staff part. So
where does that leave Origins?
The only downside I can think of on it is there's no other map to date where stamina up is an absolute need.
Right,
because the amount of mud.
Yeah.
The mud, honestly, is, in my opinion, pretty much the only real big downside of that map. Easter egg was very engaging throughout. You pretty much had to do everything on the map. All staffs had to be acquired and upgraded. You had to have airstrike grenades. You had to have Thunder Fists and then Iron Fists. You had to use all of these things. There's a step where you have to get Iron Fist kills at the bottom of the mound. There's a step where you have to blow open a hole in the ground with the airstrike grenades that spawns like 18 panzers, which is tough.
Yeah.
You have to get inside all 3 robots. You have to coordinate pressing a button on the robot with the airstrike grenade. You have to spend time in the crazy place. Like the Easter egg of that map utilizes pretty much every single item of that map. Unlike Revelations, where you don't have to do any of the accessory quests if you don't want to. You don't have to get any of the wonder weapons if you don't want to. There's a lot of stuff in that map that is completely independent of the Easter egg. Origins is not like that. You basically do everything that map has to offer.
Right.
So the Easter egg, very involved, pretty long, pretty tough. I loved it.
I loved it too. We were on it for a while.
That was another tough one. Yeah, that one and Go Rod, I think, might have been the 2 longest ones we were stuck on for a while there. Honestly, though, the fact that it's the class that it is, and it came out in Black Ops 2, that's just why it was so game-changing for Black Ops 2. It was just so head over heels better than everything else. It was just so good. I think it's S tier.
I was just gonna say, I was like, what if we did that? Because if you look at these top 3, we've got Durais and Draco, we've got Go Rod, and we've got Origins. These 3, I kind of grouped together in my mind anyway, of like quality, fun.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're not in any way similar. They're very different. But right. I always think of specifically these 3 when I think of what are the best.
Yeah, and those are just. They're just the best maps. They're so good. Yeah,
I think that's where it goes.
We'll read through these. So at D tier, we've got Verrucht, Nocturne Toten, and Shino Numa. At C tier, we have got the Giant or Darius and Ascension. At B tier, we've got Shangri-La, Zetsubo no Shima, and Moon. A, we've got Keynote Toten, Revelations, and Shadows of Evil. And then at S tier, we got Durais and Go Rod and Origins. Honestly, I think that's
I think that's solid.
Looking at that again, I think everything's right where it should be. And if we were doing a tier list of Call of Duty zombies, or even just the Black Ops franchise of zombies, pretty much all of these would be like SA or B. Like, none of those are like actual proper C or D tiers. But maybe like Noct, if we're excluding the fact that it like started everything as a map goes, maybe. Everything else, yeah, these are all good maps. Oh my God, we've been recording for an hour and a half.
Correct. So I think it's about high time we wrap this up. Thank you all so much for listening. Tell us, what is your favorite of these maps? I think we've got the best ones where they need to be, but tell us your experience. Maybe a low one we've got on here is your favorite, and I want to know why.
Honestly, I think a lot of people I think if a lot of people saw this, they would probably not be happy with the Noct and maybe the Verrucht D tier.
Well, I mean, because
of their origins.
Those are the ones that you kind of spoke a lot on. I mean, you gave reasons why.
Yeah,
I feel like that's fair. Let's have a civil debate in the comments section. I'm down for that. I mean, I'm not down for that. I don't know anything about two of those maps, but
I could.
Yeah, you could. You'll go out guns blazing. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah.